we got it. Proper balance. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we will turn it loose. Question for Coach.
It seems like we've asked you this before. You have one of these games where you play pretty well, but there are just those 2 or 3 moments where it goes the other way. How do you evaluate that? And what did you see on the film in those particular moments?
Yeah, and you said it. We've talked about this, before. You don't know when those big moments are going to rise, and you don't know if those moments are going to be the ones that change the game. And when those moments arose, we had some opportunities to change the momentum of the game, and we let it slip through our fingers, and then they capitalized on the moments when it came for them, and that was the story of the game.
What gives you confidence that you can fix this 3rd and long situation that we've been talking about for so long?
Yeah. Here's the deal. We have, so on 3rd and long, right? It was 3 of 10 on the day, right? One of the 3rd downs was a 3rd and 1, so they converted 2, and we stopped them on 5, so it was 2 of 7. Listen, we want to go 7 for 7, right? Not 5 for 7. We had on one of them, we had an opportunity, missed a sack, right? Didn't run the contain correctly up front, so then he was able to push away from the missed sack. And the route concept, if it gets that deep into the down, has a chance to break away. If we make the sack, the route doesn't even open. If we get the contain, it'll be hard for him to find that route. In every coverage there are beaters, and to stop the beaters, whether it's, hey, the pressure has to help the coverage in that instance. And on that one, we missed it. On the other one that we gave up, we played man coverage, and we got to win our one-on-ones, both from a pass rush standpoint and from coverage. But I know we're all hurting from last year. If last year, if we started from scratch this year, I don't think people would think we have a 3rd and long issue. I know the first drive of the first game, butterflies and some things there, but I think we were humming pretty good. But again, there were plays to capitalize on, and we get them to 4th and 1 there. We no matter what, we can't jump off sides. We know that. That's football IQ. That's football 101. We get another chance, on 3rd and 1, when we lose the edge. Matchup wise, it was a big body versus a little, but still, it doesn't matter. Those matchups will happen. We know how to set those edges to get it turned back. We got a chance to have another negative play on that down if we do. So, yes, we need to execute better. But was it a full systems failure? No.
I know obviously you have a lot of Georgia film, but has Brock been able to give you guys any sort of insight whatsoever into Georgia's offense that maybe you can't see on film?
No, and listen, he's got plenty to deal with, on his side from a game plan. I try to, not put that on guys. They've got to worry about what they've got to do. We've been playing these guys for a long time, and they're really good at their execution and what they do. And so we understand the supreme challenge that lies ahead. And time will tell.
We've seen Carson Beck before, obviously last year. Tough challenge for the secondary. How important is it for them to have a bounce back game and play even extra sticky knowing what Carson Beck brings to it?
Yeah, they will. It's not just Carson Beck. It's a really good offensive line. It's talented, fast receivers, talented tight ends, running backs that'll run through and by you. So, yes, Carson directs the ship, and he is as talented as a quarterback as there is in the country. You know, when he spins a football in his location, he's going to throw and complete balls like that. That's just the reality of it, you know. And they've been doing it as an offense for a lot of years now. So, you know, to put that on the secondary and to say, hey, you guys have to play even stickier and you've got to do, like, I don't think that's a fair deal. You know, I think we all have to play better. I have to make sure that we're in calls that help guys at times, you know, and then at other times guys are going to have to win their one-on-ones. And if they don't, that they bounce back. They don't let it get them down. They understand that's football. They understand that we're playing a really, really talented football team that are going to make plays, and it's going to have to be a 60-minute football game.
Brad, you may have just kind of answered this to an extent, but on the coverage breakdowns, is it more mental than physical, and do you have to do anything to simplify?
So there was simple communication that they understand they have to make on every play. There was a mental breakdown that, that player hasn't made that mistake in a long, long time. And, sometimes, what guys have to do is they have to not let the feel and the emotion of the game get them, in that if they feel like it's slipping away, okay, now I have to do too much. I have to do something beyond me. We talked about that on Wednesday last week when somebody asked, and it's, hey, listen, it's just doing our job plus, but it starts with my job. It doesn't say, hey, I'm going to do plus and negate my job. Like, that's not going to win ball games. And so if we have to do our job first, technically sound, put our eyes in the right spot, communicate in the right way, and for a large majority of the game, we did that. But on those plays, and there are times in football that you miss it, and people don't realize that we had a breakdown because they went the other way, because there was a sack, whatever the case may be, right? And so it's kind of swept under the rug, from an outside perspective, not inside the building, but, and so those are things that we have to talk about and deal with on a weekly basis. When it becomes a problem is that when that failure occurs and it leads to a big play, it leads to something that can really affect the outcome of a ball game, there's a problem.
Brad, Coach Stoops talked about maybe that the call changed on a couple of the plays, or maybe one of them when the communication after it had went off in the headset. Is that more of getting used to that headset calls, or is it more discipline of making sure you're checking signals? What is that for those players on an instance like that?
Yeah, I think that's on player and that's on coach, right? That's on myself, not harping on it enough in practice, and maybe even myself in practice getting, overly comfortable that it's a clean communication, because there's, crowd noise, not at practice, right? The emotion of a game, my pitch could potentially change in a microphone, in a crucial situation. Like, I'm a little bit more hurried or rushed, or maybe it comes out a little blurred, because I'm trying to get it, and I just assume he's got what I said. But it's a part of the common procedure that, hey, listen, you can't just trust what you hear. That's to confirm what you see.
Okay, folks, need to go ahead and get done. Get to our rock period. Then we got
Thank you.
More exciting for you to get out there and prove yourself and everything?
I don't think it's a chance for me to prove myself. Not saying that I already did or didn't prove myself already, but I don't think of it like that. It's just another game to get better, another game to try to win the ball game, another game go out there and play.
You know how daunting that team can be over there. You've been on that sideline. Coming off a week like what you guys had last week, the outcome wasn't what you wanted. What's been your message to some of the guys as they go into a team that you're familiar with and trying to bounce back?
Man, just play ball, do your job, and play as hard as you can, play it to 100%. and let the game be the game, man. Ain't nothing you can do. Last week was last week, on to a new week, play the game.
Oh, that was, I think, the first game in college that you started that you lost.
Yeah.
Just how did that feel? I mean, it's been a long time since you were a featured guy in a game that it didn't go your way.
Oh, yeah, I ain't lose in a regular season since I was, like, in youth ball, so, well, high school, sophomore year, but I ain't losing a long time, so definitely didn't feel good, but, you know, you win some, you lose some. Not used to losing them, but, you know, I guess I don't really got no wording of how I feel about the losing. Just not used to it. Don't plan on getting used to it either, so got to correct some things.
Frustrating day on the field. What were the biggest lessons learned for the unit, and what's being stressed this week?
Nothing being stressed, you know, just do your job, man. Like, you know, man on man. You got to beat the man in front of you, man. Do your job, play as hard as you can. You know, all that number one team stuff, man, just they go out the window, man. They have bad games, we have good games. The outcome of the game is how you play, so, you know, we see it on tape. Some games they didn't play well, some games they started off hot, some games they didn't start off hot, so all we got to do is just play ball. Play ball.
There were a couple breakdowns in the defense on third down. There was a couple breakdowns last week in the defense on coverages. What was your perspective from that, and what do you think you guys can do to kind of prevent those in the future?
Really just stay locked in and do your job. Just keep your foot down, don't let up. You know, we got to have some more communication on the back end. Got to get better at communication, and we got to finish plays. We had them some of them plays that they end up converting, and we actually had them. We just let them go. So we got to, you know, finish them plays.
Javon, you talk a lot about doing your job. Coach White was just talking with us about that too, saying sometimes it's hard when the feel of the game feels like you need a big play to shift the momentum. How do you, and maybe some younger guys too, focus on just your job and what you need to do when the game is starting to feel big?
You know, at the end of the day, you know, you got to control what you can control. You can't do another man's job because, you know, if you do his job, someone might not be doing your job. So that all plays a part in it. You're doing your job, do your part in being a team player. Ultimately, everyone do their job. You might, you know, that play might be successful. Everyone can do their job. So that's how I look at it.
Appreciate it.
You all from the linebacker spot, is there anything you all can do, or what do y'all need to do to make sure y'all get the calls and communicate?
Just communicate a little more and just make sure everybody know what we're doing and the call we call.
You're pretty familiar with this Georgia team. I mean, you've played them a couple times now. What do you think you guys need to do to kind of go in there prepared and just kind of coming off that game last week?
Everybody go in there and communicate. We'll be straight. Just everybody communicate, everybody be on the same key, and everybody when they one-on-ones, we'll be straight.
What is Coach White's message been to the defense? Most of the game, y'all played pretty well in the two big breakdowns, but just what's been the message to kind of get you all to bounce back after a tough loss like that?
Just go to the next week and just get ready for the next play and just really just next play mentality for real.
Is it harder to get back when you have a loss like y'all had on Saturday?
I mean, it's hard to get back from a loss, but still, you just got to go next week.
With this being a pretty experienced defense, how have you seen them respond, maybe compared to younger teams you've been on in the past?
We responded well this week in practice, just practicing hard. That's what I expect from us.
Both Coach White and Pop mentioned the phrase "do your job." Has that been kind of a focal point, getting back to work for this game, just take care of you?
Yeah, just kind of home back of what I say. Everybody just win their one-on-ones and just do your job, and we'll be straight.
Do you get the sense that, as film shown, that guys are trying to improv sometimes and getting outside of their assignment?
We got people get out of their assignment. It's just everybody just do their job. We'll be good.
What's been your message to the team as one of the leaders and somebody that's been around on this defense for a while?
Just go to the next plays. Just go to the next week. They gave us more games to play. We just got to go to the next game and play harder.
With Pop being on the other side the last couple of years, has he kind of maybe given you guys some insight on that team or kind of helped you guys prepare this week?
Yeah, he gave us a little insight. He practiced against them all the time the past couple of years, so he kind of know what they're doing, kind of help us, and everybody just go out there and do their jobs.
Y'all pick Brock Vanders here at all, too, since he was played on the offense?
Say it again.
Y'all talk to Brock at all about what they do and what they like to do? Just try to get some intel on their offense? Has he been on offense?
Yeah, he gave us a little intel on what they do, a little bit. But you know they change up, so.
Number one team in the country is a daunting task. Any part of you view this as an opportunity?
Every game is an opportunity, so we just go out there and just play hard and see what the outcome comes. It's great.
All right, good? All right, good deal.